Fit 10 Nation, it is day 34 of the Fit 10 Challenge. Almost at the halfway point, and certainly not anywhere near the point where you are going to stop, right? You are not going to stop. You're going to keep going. You're going to forge ahead. You have the roadmap. You have everything at your disposal. You just have to do the work. All right? So you're going to keep forging ahead and not stop, right? Day 34. All right. Somebody asked me about the Vega Sport Bar, okay, or the Vega. Vega's got two types of bars, and there's some. They've got like a regular kind of version. They got a sport bar, and they're both fairly similar in that. First of all, I'm not a big fan of them, and here's why: because they both have a lot of different syrups in them. So they've got like agave syrup and syrups from different, I don't have the ingredients from me, I just looked at them now. Different syrups from different fruits and stuff like that. So basically it's really processed. The thing I don't like about that, so processed doesn't really explain it. The reason I don't like it is because it has that nutrition strip. So it's just like the sugar being put in from the sources, but it doesn't have the nutrition that comes along with it, okay? So like, for example, how does it differ from this bar? Well, this bar, for the carbohydrate sources, the FitStar bar, it has cranberries, it has honey, it has blueberries. So it has these natural sources, like whole food sources. So with that, we get all the micronutrients, we get the fiber, we get everything that comes along with it. We're not just extracting the sugar and putting it in. Now, that makes the Vega bars cheaper. It makes them easier to produce. It makes this much harder to produce. It also makes this more expensive, okay? But that's a perfect example of why I don't like that bar. The bar has also got about 30 grams of carbs per serving, per bar, and about 15 grams of protein. This has got 27 grams of protein, all right? So it's more protein dense, so. Okay, so it's a no-no. All right, now I want to talk about fats with you guys. So, what's the importance of fat, and why should you have it in your diet? Can't you just live without fat? I mean, fat's just bad, right? It makes us look bad, right? Well, not entirely, right? Our nervous system is primarily made of fat. We need fat in our body to do all kinds of things, like, form the basis for different hormones and bile salts and all that kind of stuff. So, fat plays a structural component in the human body. It is essential, just like protein is essential. So let's talk about some of the reasons why you want to have fat in your diet, or why it's essential. All right. So one thing with dietary fat, if you have it in your diet, it's going to help with the production of dopamine and acetylcholine in the brain, which is going to help you with feelings of motivation, feelings of alertness. So you're going to feel like you have more energy, and you're also going to feel more determined and overall sense of better well-being. You'll feel less sluggish. Protein helps with this as well. So there's a common breakfast that one of my favorite coaches, rest in peace, Charles Poliquin, he had a breakfast called the meat nuts breakfast, and it was exactly for that reason: protein and fat to start your day, to get the acetylcholine and dopamine in the brain going. Okay, it's a longer lasting energy source. It takes more time for it to digest. It produces less insulin, okay, than protein and certainly carbohydrates. And we want to, we like to try to keep insulin lower, generally speaking, because having higher insulin levels, or at least prolonged higher levels of insulin, is supposed to promote inflammation in the body, and of course lead to diabetes, right? Type 2 diabetes. So, we want to do things where we are sort of minimizing insulin output, and also when you add fats to carbohydrates and protein, you help lower the release of insulin. You get less of a release because it slows down the digestion of both of those, particularly carbohydrates. Okay, so if you slow down the digestion of sugar, you're gonna get less sugar into the bloodstream, and consequently you'll have less insulin output, right? Because the insulin needs to help regulate the blood sugar levels. The blood sugar levels have to be at a certain level. All right, too high will die, too low will die. They have to be just right. So fat is a great mediator of that. Almost kind of in a way, I mean, it doesn't act like insulin, but it helps to regulate the sugar in the bloodstream. All right, so lowers the rate of carbohydrate digestion. We already went through that. Necessary for the absorption of micronutrients like vitamin A, D, E, and K. Okay, you need fat for absorption and assimilation of those vitamins. And it provides the underlying structure for all cells, okay, for the cell membrane. The cell membrane is made up of fats, okay? It's made up of phospholipids and triglycerides and cholesterol. And also, speaking specifically on cholesterol, cholesterol is really, really important. You want to make sure you get that in your diet. Yes, the liver does synthesize it, but you want to make sure that you get a decent amount of it in your diet, because it is a precursor for vitamin D. It is a precursor for adrenal and sex hormones. It is a precursor for biosalts that help to essentially allow the absorption of these vitamins that we need, right? The vitamin A, D, E, and K. And just so you guys are aware, if you don't know the source of cholesterol, you probably do, because the media has vilified it for, well, a few decades now. We're looking at things like cheese and eggs and beef and pork, and of course egg yolks, even fish. Okay, so all right, message of the day. 7 minutes in. Okay, I'm gonna move here. Don't limit your challenges, rather challenge your limits. All right, so you're not gonna quit. You're gonna keep challenging your limits, right? We're going to make things that were once limits no longer limits, right? So we're going to advance. We're going to push ourselves. We're going to take ourselves out of our comfort zones. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? So don't limit your challenges. Rather, challenge your limits, okay? We're going to push our limits farther ahead. We're going to make what was once a limit no longer a limit, right? You are going to finish this challenge, and hopefully you will continue, or this will give you a good, at least, entryway into some more sustainable and better measures for your health and well-being after this challenge. All right, that's it. I've said enough. Submit, commit, you guys. Do what you have to do. Stay strong. Stay strong. And I'll talk to you guys soon. I'm going to be teaching 2 classes tonight. 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Martine's going to be teaching the 8 p.m. And then, of course, this Saturday, we have a class at 10:15. All right? We'll talk to you guys all soon. See you guys.